Hi guys, Tyler here. Welcome back to another On the Hunt with Alpen Optics. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Ron Toth, is a pro staffer in Pennsylvania, and as always, Mr. Rick White. Today we're going to talk about turkey hunting in Pennsylvania. And don't forget to stick around for our weekly special. You guys. Well, boys, girls, hi everybody. Welcome back to another edition with On the Hunt with Alpen Optics. Rick, how's it going where you are right now?
Well, I'd like to say it's going a little better than it is. However, it's not all bad. I have shot one turkey so far. I can shoot 3 down here in South Georgia. They've been pretty darn tough. Let me tell you, they're not gobbling a lot, and there's just not as many turkeys as there has been in the past years. Their numbers are down a little bit, but it's been a little tough, and it's hot out today. It was in the mid 80s, and it's wearing me out just a little bit.
I know we have a special guest on today, and that's a Mr. Ron Toth. Ron, how you doing? Explain a little bit about yourself.
Great, Tyler. How you doing?
Good.
Ron, Ron, I've known you for quite a few years, and I've dealt with you, in some other businesses over the years. But tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Well, I started hunting when I was a young age of 10, and yesterday was my birthday, so I'm 55 now. I really enjoy hunting. It's fun. It's entertaining, and I just believe in Pennsylvania. I think we're losing a lot of interest in hunting from the youth. So I try to go by as many sportsman's clubs as possible on youth days and try to promote hunting.
There you go. Good deal.
How did you get into hunting?
My father took us to the woods. We had a choice of either go hunting or cut the grass. So I picked hunting.
Well, that's an easy choice to make right there. So hey, let's talk a little bit. We're going to be talking turkey hunting because that's what we're into right now, and turkey hunting is starting to open up little by little down south, working its way north. But you being in Pennsylvania, and I've only hunted Pennsylvania just a couple of times. You've cut your teeth there. So let's talk a little bit of Pennsylvania turkey hunting. What can you tell me about it?
It differs from location. The state really opens up as you go up north into the higher mountain ranges with the big timbers. Down where I live, southwestern Pennsylvania, I'm pretty close to West Virginia here. We have a lot of thickets, and a lot of times, you have to move locations because I believe that turkeys take the easier path to the hen, and they like the easiest way. So if there's an opening that they can walk to, they'll take it.
So Rick, I have a question for you. What are you doing? I mean, it looks like you're in a vehicle. I mean, you said you were in Georgia, but what are you doing? You just hanging out in the vehicle?
Well, I am right now just because I'm having to use a phone, and my phone, I've been having issues with it. So I'm using a buddy of mine's phone, and the battery on it's a little bit low. So I'm plugged into the truck and sitting in the truck. And as soon as I get off the show, we're going to be out trying to roost a couple of turkeys and for tomorrow morning's hunt. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just I'm coming to you just live in the turkey woods, basically.
But I mean, did you just get invited to come out and hunt in Georgia with a buddy, or I mean, why are you solely there? Just to hunt turkey, or what?
Yeah, pretty much just to hunt turkeys. I've been hunting in Georgia here for many years, and of course, when turkey season starts for me, I start hunting in the middle of March, and I don't end till the end of May. So I'm turkey hunting one place after another. I'm going to be going to Florida here soon after this, and then working my way back home. And but it's turkey season for me, and that's what I do.
Good deal. Well,
So, Ron, we're talking Pennsylvania turkey hunt now. In Pennsylvania, I believe, you correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, but you can only hunt till noon. Is that right?
Noon, the first 2 weeks at noon, you have to be out of the woods. by one.
Wow.
Because they want,
and you can't,
go ahead.
And you also can't hunt on Sunday. Is that correct?
No, you can't hunt on Sunday. They've allowed, Pennsylvania picked 3 Sundays last year, and they're thinking about adding 2 more, but turkey hunting wasn't one of them.
Okay. So being able to hunt only till noon the first couple of weeks, obviously your strategy is going to be a little different. You know, and most of the places I hunt, we can hunt all day, and I have a lot of success in the afternoon and evening. So what's your go-to method of turkey hunting when you can only hunt till noon? What are you doing?
Oh, I have a few little tricks I pull out. One is you have to roost. Roosting is very important, especially because Pennsylvania has a lot of hunters. So there's a lot of pressure on the birds in Pennsylvania. So if you can set up close to a bird before somebody else comes, you're better off in Pennsylvania. But another thing is with the hens and the gobbler ratio, what I actually try to do, you might think this is crazy, but I'll go out in the evening and I'll call to the turkey, and I'll try to separate the gobbler from the hens in the evening. And then the next morning I set up on the gobbler. In between, I put myself in between where he came from, so in between the hens and the gobbler.
So Ron, I do have a question. What is your
very
opinion with optics when you're going out scouting for birds, when you're trying to get ready for the season?
Well, I use optics all the time, scouting and hunting, because turkey can see, they say 10 times better than we can.
Mm-hmm.
And so I try to, before I even get up out of my calling position, I'll take a look around with optics to see if I can see anything. Especially sometimes they hang up in fields because they don't want to come into a thick woods. So they'll hang up in a field, and you don't know that field's there unless you can maybe scope it out. And then even before I walk into a field, I scope it out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a field could be anywhere from 50 yards to 400 yards wide. And so turkeys can see very, very well. An old timer once told me a turkey can see an acorn drop out of a tree at 100 yards.
Gee whiz.
Down here where I'm at, we're hunting, I'm in South Georgia, and we're hunting a lot of palmetto groves and a lot of canopy type stuff. And it's hard to see inside those canopies from any kind of distance. So for me, stepping up into an area when I'm peeking out, I can glass and actually find out if there's turkeys inside the field. Because, walking across an open field when you've got turkeys 20 yards off the field, you know how that ends.
Right.
That ends with no turkey in your truck.
Right.
That's how that ends. But so talk to me a little bit about what are some of your calling strategies? I know different parts of the United States tend to be different. Every turkey might be a little different, but what do you find that works best for you, and at least in your area?
I start off very soft. I've always hunted with my brothers, and we separate in the woods, and I can hear like my brother calling down below me, and I'll answer him, and then later in the day he wouldn't even know I was there. He didn't even know I was there. I was like, I was right above you. Didn't you hear me calling? He goes, no, I don't call loud. I call aggressive, but I don't call loud. I just think, so I go around doing seminars. I tell people, I like to put it like in a human factor. If you're trying to pick up a girl in a bar, you don't go yell at her.
No,
she's going to run away.
Now, guys, do you guys hunt or scout for strut zones?
I don't. We don't have a lot of sandy soil in Pennsylvania, so you can't see where they're dragging their wings.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times the strut zones in Pennsylvania are power lines or old logging roads or fields. So, and when you're pre-season scouting and you see them strutting, they're there. So, and what I also do is I'll look down at my watch and time when they're in that field, or when they're on that power line, or when they're on that logging road.
Rick, what about you?
Tyler, that's a very good question. And Ron really hit it, because in his area, because of the terrain. Now down here, for instance, we've got a lot of planted pines, but a lot of open country. Mm-hmm. So prior to season, you are looking for those strut zones, because if you're going to hunt any kind of field edge or even the planted pines, you need to kind of have an idea of where they're going to strut, because it's such big country down here. And the same goes for Iowa. For me, if I see turkey strutting in a field, and maybe it's not me, maybe I'm talking to the farmer and he says, hey, these gobblers are out here strutting at that corner of the field every day at whatever, that's where I'm going to be that time of the day. But it does certainly help, but I wouldn't rely solely on just, scouting strut zones. There's so many other things that you have to factor in as well.
Now, Ron, let's talk a little bit about terrain. You keep mentioning that there's different terrain in Pennsylvania. Obviously, where Rick is, it's swampy and nasty and covered and everything. But I'm kind of curious if it's like Arkansas. We have flat valleys towards the south and more hills and mountains up towards the north. Is it kind of what it's like that and where you are?
Yeah, we're from Southwestern. We still have our hills. Mm-hmm. I seem to think like towards Erie, it's flat. But if you go east, we're talking big mountains, is where if you're on one side and he gobbles on the other side, it's going to take you quite a long time to get there, and you might just want to just go back in your truck and try to drive around to them because it's that big. But up north is just a total different hunt, fellas. It's you're in the woods that you could literally see 400, 500 yards, and you're in the middle of the woods. Oof. So it's just wide open. So what I do when I'm up there is, you try to set up as close to a ridge, because you don't want that gobbler to see you from 400, 500 yards, mm-hmm. because he's going to come in and his hearing is they can hear so well that if they're hearing hens and they don't see hens, they get a little cautious. Then you come in with the decoys. Decoys in the woods are a difficult thing with me because I'm very cautious about ever getting shot. And I know a lot of people that have got shot. So,
yeah.
Hey, Ron, let me ask you this. One of the questions that I get asked a lot, and I think a lot of people have a hard time acquiring properties to hunt. Now I know you're a wine sales rep, and so you just give the landowner a case of wine and you're in. So,
yeah,
but,
a lot of times.
No, in all seriousness, do you have any tricks or thoughts on how people that maybe don't have the places that we have to hunt, how can they attain some of this private ground? I mean, what you find one thing works better than another when you're talking to a landowner?
Be an etiquette hunter. If you knock on the door and show them, if it's a farmer and he's putting up fence posts, go help him.
That's exactly what.
You try to pitch in. You don't just take somebody for granted. And if they let you hunt, a lot of the insurance companies say that don't let anybody hunt because if they fall, they can sue you. So you have to really gain trust in a landowner. And what I mean by that is when I'm going out doing youth day shows, what I actually do, this might sound kind of crazy, but I'll actually throw a couple cans out on a little, like a course that I build up for the kids. And if they walk past that can and not pick it up, I squirt them with a squirt gun, and they failed. But it's just things like that. Go ahead.
Yeah. You make a great point because, I talk to a lot of landowners, and one of the things they always tell me is, the only time I ever see you is during hunting season.
Right.
Those farmers, they want to see you more because, they have the same relationship, they're friends and they consider you a friend. And if you could show up in the summer and help them bale some hay or clean some cattle yards or anything, that goes a long ways.
Yes, it does.
So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. And now you, I know you're a big turkey hunter. Mm-hmm. You must have a favorite recipe on cooking turkeys. What is it?
Oh boy, you threw that one at me. My buddy showed me. Yeah. My buddy showed me. There's a meat tenderizer that looks like a bunch of needles. You guys know what it is?
Yes.
Looks like okay. So my buddy that lives down the street from me, I take him hunting with me. His name is Chris. He showed me you just bang the meat with the meat tenderizer until it almost tears apart. And then you just get some breadcrumbs with Romano cheese breadcrumbs, mm-hmm. and you just fry it for a couple minutes, and it comes out excellent. And then you just dunk it in barbecue sauce or make a buffalo sauce with it.
Oof.
That's the best one I know.
Right. Now I think your season doesn't open up till the 1st of May. Is that right?
That's correct. May 1st to May 15th is you're allowed to hunt till noon. Then May 17th till I think the 31st, you're allowed to hunt all day.
Okay.
Do you feel that that's a little bit late? Should they open it up sooner, in your opinion, or did
No.
they have it just right?
No, that's one of the big arguments in hunting Pennsylvania is a lot of people say the season's too late, but according to the biologist, we have to have the hens mated already before we start killing the gobblers.
Right. Okay. Well, that makes sense. And of
then
course,
we just threw out the
know
fluorescent
best.
orange law maybe a couple years ago. We had to hunt with fluorescent orange.
Right. I remember that. Now, what do you still have to wear an orange hat in and out of the woods when you're moving, or no?
No, it's recommended but not mandatory.
Okay. And what's the limit of turkeys in Pennsylvania? Is it just one, or can you shoot more than one?
One, but you can buy an extra tag for I think $21.99. $21.99. You can buy an extra tag, but it's one that comes with the general license purchases.
So
what kind of that sounds good. Well, one of these days I'll have to get out there and hunt with you. Go ahead, Tyler. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine, Rick. Ron, what kind of call strategies do you do? Do you use softer calls, or you just? I
do a lot of soft calling, but Rick's gonna agree with this. I let the turkey tell me how to call him. And what I mean by that, if he's answering soft calls, I'm going to stick with soft calls. If I can throw a and he answers that, then I'm going to pound him.
What?
Yeah, take their temperature, see what they're. It's just like fishing, when you figure out what they're biting on, that's what you're going to use.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense. Well, is there any type of ammo that you can't use in Pennsylvania?
Nothing bigger than 4-shot.
Okay. Good deal.
Nothing larger than 4-shot.
That's the same in Iowa.
Right. So now we get into another. Go ahead, Rick.
I say a lot of people are starting to, in some parts of the United States, they're starting to shoot 410s. Now in Iowa, it's not legal as of yet, but it's not legal. Are there people that using 410s? I know a couple people, and I'm telling you what, I had a buddy of mine shooting one the other day, just practicing with one, and they're pretty deadly. I was impressed. Do you know anybody hunting with one?
Yeah, a buddy of mine named Roy that works down at Cabela's, an hour away from me. He believes in a 410. But then that goes into another debate of 3.5 inch, 3 inch, 2 3/4.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird because here in Arkansas, you can just, it doesn't matter. You can just whatever type of ammo, if you want to bring them down with whatever, and it's with shotgun, and it's
right.
It's odd, to be honest. I'm surprised they don't actually try to look into mandating some of that, but I don't know. We're different down here.
Well, I was never one for. I'm never one for 3.5. I've never used it. 3.5. I've never felt the need for it. But now we have that new shot out that everybody's heard of called TSS, and they're saying that you can shoot a bird 70 yards.
Yeah, I have not yet. I'm not shooting TSS, and I'm not saying, I know a lot of people that do, and it shoots very good for them, but I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I mean, the old Winchester Supremes put just as many turkeys down as anything I've ever shot. So
Ron, what do you mean? What's TSS? For those who don't know.
I think it's tungsten shot, right, Rick?
Yeah, it is. It's a form of tungsten, and it's just a harder shot, and it's effective out to quite a few. The problem is people are going to start shooting turkeys too far out, and we owe it to them to let them come in and just be humane about it. Now, I don't have a problem with people shooting TSS, but still 40 yards and in, that's where you want to shoot.
Right. Yeah. That's old school hunting. But you look on Facebook and you look on some of these other hunting shows, and they're promoting the heck out of the TSS. And I got in a big debate on Facebook because people said step up to technology, and I was like, well, I don't need to. I feel the biggest part of hunting is that communication between the hunter and the gobbler, and calling and having patience and waiting for him to get to you. And there's nothing more exciting than to see a gobbler fanned out at 60 yards and just taking his time and doing circles.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just sitting there aiming, and your muscles start tightening up, and your gun barrel starts to shake a little bit, and you just have to just suck up and just hang in there.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too, we can save hunters a little bit of money by not spending $50 and $60 for a box of shells.
For five shells.
Yeah, if you want to shoot TSS, perfectly okay. I mean, but don't shoot turkeys too far out. That's just all I want to make sure people understand.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Rick. You were going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, just trying to think what else, Ron, that you might talk about that pertains to your area more so than some of the others. I mean, obviously be fit, because hiking up and down those mountains are pretty darn tough. But do you have to
say what?
Okay, well, I was listening to what was going on there. But do you have to? Are you allowed how many shells in your gun?
3. Then you have to have it plugged.
All right.
The gun has to be plugged. So,
gotcha.
You know, the Game Commission's great. You know, they're great people, and you know, there could be a little bending of the rules, but the rules are rules. So, you know, if you abide by them, you'll be fine. But you know, with getting back to calling, Tyler, about your question,
yes,
you know, just yelps and cuts. But again, the gobbler's telling you where the conversation's going to go. Mm-hmm. If you listen. But then again, you have a lot of hens, and I've actually had hens. How can I say this? You actually, if you call too aggressive at hens, sometimes they'll walk that gobbler away from you because they don't want the conflict.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. They don't want to fight another hen. But if you become a hen's friend and, you know, do some soft calls, she'll lead that gobbler to you.
Now, what kind of locator
calls Ron, and that
use? Go ahead, Rick.
Well, we'll talk about locator calls in a second, but that kind of leads back to what you were saying earlier. You know, take that gobbler's temperature and those hens' temperature as well, because there are times that I actually get aggressive towards the hen and try to get her to come in. But then there's other times when being aggressive to the hens will push them away. So again, take their temperature, figuring out what's working, what's not, and then go with that. So what Tyler was asking is locator calls. And, you know, I have my favorites throughout the United States, but what do you like and what works well for you out in Pennsylvania?
An owl call early in the morning. But again, with any type of call, Rick, Tyler, that you use, if you add realism into that call, you'll get a better response. So you have to practice. I believe practice makes perfect. You know, go ahead, Rick.
Well, yeah, and we have these delays on the phone, so sometimes it's hard to tell. I'm jumping all over you probably a little bit, but I know we're getting down kind of towards the end of the show, and I try to every week talk a little bit, give a tip that I think will maybe help people be more successful. And there's so many things that you can do. And, you know, you're probably the same as I was, Ron. You'll learn more off the mistakes you make in the turkey woods. And that's what needs to teach you, because when I started turkey hunting, there was nobody that knew anything about turkey hunting in my area. And I was all trial and error, and I learned from my mistakes. But here's one thing that I think makes people more successful, and that's patience. Hands down, everything you do, patience. And I would challenge people to do this going forward. If there's times now to get up and move on a turkey and knowing when to and when not to, that's one thing you're going to have to learn. But if you're not sure what's going on, maybe the turkeys were gobbling and they quit gobbling and you're not sure what they're doing, I would tell people to do this. Call aggressive, make some calls, and stop calling and wait 30 minutes without making a call, without moving. Now, you got to have a watch to do this in the turkey woods, because 30 minutes in the turkey woods without a watch is about 5 minutes, okay? And you wait 30 minutes, you'll be amazed how many gobblers or turkeys in general will come in within that 30 minutes. Patience will definitely pay off.
Well, guys, we've got to that point in the show where we talk about our wonderful weekly special. And you know what today is? It's the beautiful Shasta Ridges. These things, the 10x42s, are amazing. And then also, when you check out, it'll come with this wonderful cleaning kit or cleaning pen. with purchase. They're 20% lighter and they're fully magnesium frames and fully waterproof. You can't say enough about these, and they're small to boot, and you can't beat it. You really can't. So, Rick, I know you're probably going to talk about these till you're blue in the face. But give them a little.
Well, I've got a pair. Yeah, I've got them in my vest right now. That's all I've been using on this trip. I love them because, you know, I like the original ones, but these are actually smaller and lighter, and I can throw them in my pack, and I can bring them up and get instant focus. I love them. I mean, they're, you know, I tell people all the time, we have so many good optics. We really do. But, you know, if I had a pair that I wanted to throw in my pack and spend just a little bit more, now I know you're going to have a great price on these, but these are the ones. These are the ones that I have in my pack for turkey hunting.
Yeah, believe it or not, the price is $239 as they stand right now. But after the show, with the 50% off, it's $99.
Yeah, that's actually less than $99.
Well,
we were running a really good special.
Yeah,
I mean less than half price. I'm sorry,
a little less than half.
But yeah, $99. You're never going to find them that cheap. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they're waterproof with a lifetime warranty. Is that correct?
Of course, they always are with a lifetime warranty, and they are waterproof. That's the best thing about them.
So, and you correct me too if I'm wrong. Is that BAK4 prisms or?
Yes, they are Bach 4 prisms. Yes, the newer editions are Bach 4s.
Great combination.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, guys, I think that about wraps it up. To be honest, for today's show, Rick, what do we got going on for next week?
Well, I've got Edwin Schertz, Mr. Wingbone himself, coming on the show one more time. I know he was on before, but he's a call, you know, he's a manufacturer of custom calls, and I want to talk to him a little bit about call conditioning and some things like that. Meanwhile, I'm going to be down here hunting, and I'll try to give you an update next week on the show if everything goes right, if I can figure my phone out. But hey, I'm just in the turkey woods running and gunning. That's what I'm doing.
Just buy a new phone. That's your simple answer. Just buy a new one and be done.
Yeah, I know.
We
Ron,
guys, we really do appreciate.
I appreciate you being on the show, Ron.
No problem, Rick.
It was great, Ron. It was great to have you.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler.
You're welcome. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in for another On the Hunt with Alpen Optics. Make sure you tune in next week for the next week's show.
See you guys.
Good luck, Rick.
You know, good optics are a must for a hunter, particularly binoculars, not only during hunting season, but times like this when it's time to start scouting. But there's one thing you need to do when you get your binoculars that a lot of people don't realize. You need to set them up for yourself. Everybody's eyes are a little bit different. And here's how I do it. It's simple and easy. Just take the binoculars and just kind of grab good focus on an object. And then I go and put my hand over the left lens. The diopter ring, which is on the right side, I will go ahead and adjust that until that right eye is in focus. Once it is, I take the hand off the other side, both eyes in focus, and you're ready to go. It's simple and easy, and it's a must that you do this before you go out and use them. You know, here we are midsummer here in Iowa, and I'm just out doing some scouting, glassing deer, kind of taking an inventory of what I've got, and doing it from a distance. I've got one of the new Alpen spotting scopes. It's a 20 by 60, but one of the things I really like about this, it comes with a tripod, and it's got micro adjustments, so it's real easy to zoom in and move around and find those animals. But basically, this is a great tool to help me manage the farm all year round. If you're looking for a great way to do some scouting, do it in the evening from a distance with a nice spotting scope. You know, good optics are a must for a hunter. The new Alpen Tetons. They're lighter, they're better in low light, excellent glass. You'll be hard pressed to find that glass for under $1,000. Everything that you would want in a pair of optics. I know what I'm looking for, and once I know what I'm looking for and find what it is, that's what I'm interested in buying. The bottom line is they're affordable, they're lighter, and they're great in low light. The new Alpen Tetons. Another deer coming out. Let's talk a little bit about Alpen and Bresser optics. Now they have a full line of optics, but what I want to talk to you now about is rangefinders. They have several different varieties of handheld rangefinders and the new bow rangefinder. Now for you bow hunters, you go ahead and sight in at 20 yards and you calibrate it to your 20-yard pin, and when you're at full draw, whatever you're pointing that 20-yard pin on an object, it'll tell you the yardage. So whether you like a handheld or you want to put one on your bow, we have both options for you here at Alpen and Bresser Optics.